Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I'm going to start out by repeating Genevieve Behrand's statement in her book, Your Invisible Power, which was a sort of a mind treatment that she received from Thomas Troward. My mind is a center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression, and this means the production of something beyond what has gone before, something entirely new, not included in the past experience, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth. Therefore, since the divine cannot change its inherent nature, it must operate in the same manner with me. Consequently, in my own special world of which I am the center, it will move forward to produce new conditions, always in advance of any that have gone before. What would you create with your marvelous mind? Your mind that is a center of divine operation. You can think a thought, and as you focus on the thought and you get emotionally involved in the thought, you start to notice your environment reflects back to you what you're thinking. Maybe not exactly what you're thinking, but what is in alignment with your thinking. Let's take a deep breath in. And maybe blow it out. Take a deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. And then let it go very slowly. We can try another technique. Breathe in for the count of 4, and then breathe out for the count of 8. When you're focused on your breathing, you're bringing yourself into the present moment, getting yourself into a state of just being calm, being relaxed, being intentional. You can set an intention that today we will remain as much as possible calm, in control of our mind, at peace, confident, and from the calm, quiet, we can create solutions. We can create better outcomes. We can focus on creating what we want. Genevieve Behrand has suggestions on how to pray or ask, believing that you have already received. She calls it scientific thinking, positive thought, suggestions for practical application. So you start with thinking, what do you really want? Try through careful, positive, enthusiastic, but not strenuous thought to realize that the indescribable, invisible substance of life fills all space. that its nature is intelligent, undifferentiated substance. Well, her suggestion is 5 o'clock in the morning is the best time to go into this sort of meditation. If you will retire early every night for 1 month, and before going to sleep, impress firmly upon your subjective mind this affirmation: My Father is the ruler of all the world and is expressing his directing power through me. You will find that the substance of life takes form in your thought molds. Do not accept this suggestion simply because it is given to you. Think it over carefully until the impression is made upon your own subconscious mind, understandingly. Rise every morning, as suggested before, at 5 o'clock, and sit in a quiet room in a straight back chair and think out of the affirmation of the previous evening. If you're falling asleep with the affirmation, My Father is the ruler of all the world and is expressing his directing power through me, and then you wake up and you think about that affirmation, you'll realize and be able to put your practice into power with the realization, at least to some extent, that your mind really is a center through which all the creative energy and power there is taking form. In praying for a change in condition, physical, mental, or financial, for yourself or another person, bear in mind that the fundamental necessity for the answer to prayer is the understanding of this scientific statement. Ask, believing you have already received, and you shall receive. This is not as difficult as it appears on the surface once you realize that everything has its origin in the mind, and that which you seek outwardly, you already possess. No one can think a thought in the future. Your thought of a thing constitutes its origin. Therefore, the thought form of the thing is already yours as soon as you think it. Your steady recognition of this thought possession causes the thought to concentrate, to condense, to project itself, and to assume physical form. I'm going to say the statement again. Ask, believing you have already received, and you shall receive. So it's not just thinking, wishing, hoping, thinking a thought, and ping, there it is. You have to believe that it's yours. The recognition or conception of new sources of wealth is the loftiest aspiration you can take into your heart, for it assumes and implies the furtherance of all noble aims. Remember, you're not thinking wealth or richness in relationships, a richly blessed life, rich in experiences, just for your own greedy, selfish purposes. But once you become financially wealthy, how much more can you serve your community, your family, the poor, your church, your charity, your business, your friends and family, how much better the world will become through the power of money, because everyone uses money as a measure of exchange. Your meditation or prayer is not hypnosis, and it should never be your endeavor to take possession of someone else's mind. It should never be your intention to make yourself believe that which you know to be untrue. You are simply thinking into God or first cause with the understanding that if a thing is true at all, there is a way in which it is true throughout the universe. Remember that the power of thought works by absolutely scientific principles. These principles are expressed in this statement: as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This statement contains a world of wisdom, but man's steady recognition and careful application of the statement itself is required to bring it into practical use. The principles involved in being as we think in our heart are elucidated and revealed by the law. As you sow, so shall ye reap. Remember that your freedom to choose just what you think, just what thought possession you will affirm and claim, constitutes God's gift to you. It shows how first cause, God, universal power, has endowed every person with the power and ability to bring into his personal environment whatever you choose. There's a law of cause and effect. If you plant an acorn, you get an oak tree. If you plant a seed of corn, you're not going to get a geranium. What you plant is what you sow. What you sow is what you reap. So if you're planting a kernel of corn, you can expect to harvest corn. If you're planting seeds of a negative, hateful nature, that's what's going to come back to you. Your thoughts are like a boomerang of energy. When you're focused on positive thoughts, love and joy and wealth and respect and confidence, when your thoughts are focused on positive service to others, once you become wealthy, what are you going to do to help others? How can you give more? And the law of cause and effect is funny that way. The more you give, the more you receive. But we're not giving in order to receive. We give from the heart, and then we are rewarded from infinite. Infinite. No beginning, no end. There is an infinite storehouse. You don't have to worry that if you receive more, that you're taking from someone else, because it is infinite supply. You always get the manifestation of that which you consciously or unconsciously affirm and claim, habitually declare and expect, or in other words, as you sow. So if you're thinking thoughts of lack and limitation, hatred and greed, don't expect happiness and health and wealth. Just as if you're going to sow a grain of corn, you reap a stalk of many kernels of corn. You don't get an oak tree if you're planting a grain of corn. You don't get wealth and respect and a beautiful, abundant life if you're focused on debt, lack, limitation, hatred, resentment. What you sow is what you reap. And if you sow the seeds of I am, I ought to do, I can do, I will do, Genevieve Beran says that because you are, you ought to do. That because you ought to, you can do. And because you can do, you do. The manifestation of this truth, even in a small degree, gives you the undisputable understanding that dominion is your charter right. You are an heir of first cause, endowed with all the power He has. God has given you everything. All is yours. And you know that all you have to do is reach out your mental hand and take it. Intensify your thought by meditating upon the fact that there is that in you which finds the way, which is the truth and is the life. You are affirming this fact, believing that since you are thinking this, it is already yours. Having lifted up your feeling to the central idea of this meditation, you examine your own consciousness and see if there is anything which is not godlike. If there is any feeling of fear, worry, malice, envy, hatred, or jealousy, turn back into your meditation to cleanse your thought through the affirmation that God's love and purity fills all space, including your heart and soul. Reconcile your thought with the love of God, always remembering that you are made in the image and likeness of pure, divine, infinite love. Keep this cleansing thought in mind until you feel that you have freed your consciousness entirely of all thoughts and feelings other than love and unity with all humanity. Prayer as a method of thought is a deliberate use of the law which gives you the power of dominion over everything which tends in any way to hamper your perfect liberty. You have been given life that you may enjoy it more and more fully. The steady recognition of this truth makes you declare yourself a prince of power. You recognize, accept, and use this power as the child of a king, and hence dominion is your birthright. Then when you feel the light of this great truth flooding your consciousness, open the floodgates of your soul in the heartfelt praise, because you have the understanding that the Creator and His creation are one. Also, that the Creator is continually creating through His creation. Choose your treatment in the happy assurance that the prayer which is fulfilled is not a form of supplication, but a steady, habitual affirming that the creator of all creation is operating specifically through me. Therefore, the work must be perfectly done. Your mind is a center of divine operation. Genevieve Behrend suggests that for every 5 minutes given to reading and studying, spend 15 minutes in the use and application of the knowledge acquired. So you're not just sitting and praying and meditating and wishing and hoping and writing. You're taking action. You're behaving in a manner that would be in alignment with you already having your wish fulfilled, whatever it is that you want to create. How would you be acting and treating others if you were calm, love, respect, peace? Knowing that you're joyfully made, that you have access to infinite. She then suggests you spend 1 minute every 24 hours conscientiously thinking over the specification that must be observed in order to have your prayers answered. Practice the steady recognition of desirable thought possession for 2 periods of 15 minutes every day. You can even time yourself to see how long you can keep a given concept in your mental vision, but also keep a written record of the vividness with which you experience your mental image. Your mental senses are just as varied and trainable as your physical ones. You want to spend time strengthening your imagination, your intuition, your will, your reason, your perception, your memory. These are your 6 mental faculties that you have been gifted with. They need to be strengthened the same as your physical muscles, or they will atrophy from lack of use, just as your physical muscles will. That's why this is a consistent, regular practice. Genevieve Behrend suggests that the greatest mental scientist the world has ever known, Jesus Christ, the man, said, "All things are possible unto you. Also, the things I do, you can do." Did he tell the truth? Jesus did not claim to be more divine than you are. He declared the whole human race children of God. By birth, he was no exception to this rule. The power he possessed was developed through his personal effort. He said you could do the same if you would only believe in yourself. A great idea has no value unless accompanied by physical action. God gives you the idea, and then you, as a human man, woman, work it out upon the physical plane. The soul and body are one. Contentment of mind is contentment of soul And contentment of soul means contentment of body. If you wish health, watch your thoughts, not only of your physical being, but your thoughts about everything and everybody. With your will, keep them in line with your desire and outwardly act in accordance with your thoughts. And you will soon realize that all power, both over thoughts and conditions, has been given to you. You believe in God, believe in yourself as a physical instrument through which God operates. Absolute dominion is yours when you have sufficient self-mastery to conquer the negative tendency of thoughts and actions. Ask yourself daily, what is the purpose of the power which put me here? How can I work with the purpose for life and liberty in me? After having decided these questions, endeavor hourly to fulfill them. You are a law unto yourself. If you have a tendency to overdo anything, overeating, drinking, or blaming circumstances for your misfortunes, conquer that tendency with the inward conviction that all power is yours. Eat less, drink less, blame circumstances less, and the best there is will gradually grow in the place where the worst seemed to be. Always remember that all is yours to use as you will. You can if you will. If you will, you do. God the Father blesses you with all He has to give. Make good godly use of it. The reason for greater success when you first begin your studies and demonstrations in mental science was your joy and enthusiasm at the simple discovery of power within, which was greater than you were able to put into your understanding later. With increased understanding comes increasing joy and enthusiasm, and the results will correspond. What is it that you truly desire? Focus your attention on how it feels now that it's yours, now that you're living healthy, calm, peace, wealthy, loved, respected. Whatever it is that you desire, as much as possible, focus your mind in that direction to the exclusion of all else. Negative thoughts produce negative results. Positive thoughts produce positive results. Practice the treatment. Imagine yourself already in possession of the good that you desire. Write it out, and then get on with the work. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you back here Monday morning at 7. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. Thank you.